Hey, Shalom. All praise to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of GreatMillStone, man. And Shalom to all that came out there doing the work in sincerity and truth. You know, keeping the fire burning, blazing. I got an article here. It's just, well, more just about just going into, Esau's wicked high holy days, man, that he keeps on the left hand side. And there's one coming up real soon, and it's funny because we're in it now, yeah, 21st just rolled in. So basically Esau's just sending out vibrations, preparing basically this is just him preparing the populace for if shit pops off, shit could likely pop off very soon, man. With the way Esau does these things, man, he pushes these vibrations out, man. And his high holy days, he honors them, man. He honors them. It's like on what was it? Beltane, I believe. Was it Beltane? No, it was Samhain. Samhain, I believe it was. The so-called Halloween. That was there was the attack in New York, I believe. So they do certain sacrifices, they do certain things. Sometimes it's behind closed doors, sometimes a certain events will come to pass and the public will see. But it's funny because December 21st is the start of the solstice and it goes on until like the 25th. And then after that is when like the days start to shorten again. But it's funny because there's an article coming out, it says like, this is USA Today, just for some reason they just put an article out on December 21st will be the worst day of 2017, astrologers say. And it's what it says in the scriptures, man. It says, stand now with thine enchantments. If you can basically stop the judgment coming, them astrologers and stargazers and monthly prognosticators, then they can bring it to pass. They can make it, save Esau from his judgment. But that's not going to be. But it says stand now with thine enchantment. So basically Esau's going to firm himself in that left-hand side wickedness more and ride for it harder as it goes, man. It says the winter solstice, also known as Yule, midwinter, the shortest day of the year and the longest night, occurs at 11:28 a.m. ET Thursday. But this short little day with the great many names also may be the worst day of the year according to astrologers. The reason, Saturn. So yeah, that's basically them. They're basically letting you know, and they're going by the signs of the heavens, man. They might be using the power of those signs to make certain things come to pass. Because that's what these guys do. They deal with these elites. They deal with certain days. They're down with astronomy, with basically abusing the left hand side and certain methods they've got to try and to basically try and push through their agendas, man. It says Druids and pagans and revelers gather December 21st, 2016 at Stonehenge, hoping to see the sun rise as they take part in a winter solstice ceremony at the ancient Neolithic monument at Stonehenge. So yeah, Stonehenge, that's a place where whenever there's these high holidays, especially over here, these pagan motherfuckers down here, they get down with that shit, man. You always see they'll have it on the news how enough men are trying to get to Stonehenge. Man, they're going up to Stonehenge, partaking in pagan druidic festivals, man. So then how these? So this is meant to be a Christian country. But then on this, so even Christmas, these guys are trying to say that Christmas is we just it's obviously we know it's not the day that Jesus was born, but we just choose to celebrate that day. But hold on, there's a wealth of pagan customs that have always been partaken on those days anyway. Like those days were already taken, man. Which the Tammuz and Semiramis and Nimrod was already getting that worship on them days. Why are you basically gonna do the exact same customs as what them people are doing, but then just say, oh no, but we do it. May I do it for Jesus Christ, for the child. May I do it for nah? But then obviously these men are doing it for them. They're basically doing the same pagan wicked customs, but just doing it, so-called doing it, saying they're doing it, and then it's in the Bible. It's got nothing to do with the Bible, man. They're off, man. You off, man. It says apparently the sun will appear to pass in front of the constellation Capricorn hours after Saturn does likewise. This will cause both of these orbs to line up for the first time since 1664. Funny, 2 years before the fire of London. According to London astrologer Neil Spencer, who writes for the London Observer, but first wrote about the alignment on his blog. He insists that starting something new on this day is ill-advised and will have long-term consequences. Oh, I wonder what that could mean, man. You know, these elites could make something happen. Or, you know, might make martial law pop off. Might make them have to be, okay, we got to shut down. There's various things that could happen. Various things that could come to pass. And it says, and anything you try to do Thursday will be more difficult than usual, take more time, and be more frustrating. So, you know, that's and it's funny because these are the guys. Hey, Esau respects and upholds and adheres to what these guys say, man. They'll have their astrologers on a high level. This guy might not be on a high level. I'm not too sure. I'm not looked into it. What, Neil Spencer? He might be up there. I don't know if he writes for the London Observer. He might be linked, rubbing shoulders with them guys, but I ain't looked into him, so I could not say. It says perhaps that's why the president won't sign the tax bill Thursday. That and Congress has its paperwork to process. Even though Spencer said the establishment, patriarchy, big business, and property will be front and center in the cosmos. Toss in all that holiday traffic in its gridlock of that day, just about everywhere, according to InRinks, a company that analyzes transportation data. Says patience will not be a priority, especially if we're told that we have to do something by our superiors. Lunar Living Astrology website says we may be perceived as insubordinate, be ready to deal with the repercussions of the rebellion. So they're just letting you know that certain things come to pass. That's funny because they're just pushing it out to the general populace, but they've actually, for them, it's not even like a little thing for them. For them, it's actually, you know, this is a big time, a big day, big time, man. Let me get, because I wanted to just get this. This is, you know, the pagan calendar. I'll get it up, like, on the calendar, so you can see if it's gonna load. Yeah. So this is, you know, just like the witch's calendar. It will go into, like, all these different days, and you can see, like, look, there's December 21st, and there's enough things are going. So Northern Hemisphere, it's a winter solstice. That's what we just come into, and it's like, you know, goes into this. So all these this Christmas that guys are claiming is we just celebrate for little baby Jesus. That's actually it's a bunch of pagan customs, and then you can see it's like the moons and the sun, both of them moving into like new quarters or whatever it is, man. But let me just go winter solstice, because this is what I wanted to get. Because it's funny, you read about it and then you're like, okay, winter solstice. Then you see that these things are basically all these customs. When you're in the world, and you know, you'll just go and you'll just be doing what you're doing, you know, in the world, just like, oh yeah, you know, Christmas, you put the tree up. But you go into the scripture and you realize putting that tree up is some pagan witchcrafts. And then you know, you give them presents, which is a custom that goes back to Saturnalia. And then you know, there's various things that are done, the customs that are done, and then people say, oh no, we're just doing it. And especially these stupid Christian fucks, they like saying that. But then these things are actually pagan witchcraft customs that are being upheld. So let me read this, man, because this is so some pagan calendar. It says winter solstice, midwinter, Yule, Alban, Arthur on winter solstice, known to have included the sacrifice of a pig for the god Freya, a custom which survives in the Scandinavian Christmas ham. So a Christmas custom in Scandinavia comes from a sacrifice to Freya. So it's a pagan custom. It says many of the symbols associated with the modern holiday of Christmas, such as the burning of the Yule log, the eating of the ham, the hanging of the bows, holly, mistletoe, etc., are apparently derived from traditional Northern European Yule traditions. So all them customs that they're doing, just like I did the video before, but you know, this is basically that so-called Christmas these guys are upholding. It's just pagan customs, man. And a lot of that goes back, a lot of the Yule stuff goes back to them Viking fucks, them crazy wacky niggas that conquered, like when them motherfuckers went to America, they fucking conquered England, conquered parts of Russia, conquered, they created Russia, they set up fucking Normandy in France. These guys were out conquering, man. They were smashing up the what do you call it as well, man? The Moors as well. These guys were getting about, man. But yeah, a lot that these guys basically set up a lot of they continued a lot of those pagan practices, man. It's funny, you watch like the History Channel's Vikings TV show, which is bad show still. Ragnar's my boy still. But you watch the show, and then it shows you like they have a lot of them pagan practices, man. And they were worshipping like, you know, Odin, Freya, Thor. You know, they got the 4 movies coming out. This is like they show you the origins of like how these guys were upholding it. These guys went over to the UK, came to the church and just murked off every man they found, man. Nubbed up all the crosses and all that because it was gold in there, man. So there's some paganry, man. And it says our apparently Viking traditional thing. It says heathenry in Germanic neo-pagan sects. Yule is celebrated with gatherings that often involve a meal and gift giving. So, Christmas, same thing. Everyone comes, you know, they sit there. There's a Brussels sprouts, there's a turkey, there's a roast potatoes, and everyone's there. And there's family members that you've hated. You ain't seen these motherfuckers in years. They looking at you sideways and shit. But then, basically, what do you call it? But then, you know, everyone's gonna come together every year. Don't matter what, the whole family's gonna come together because they basically upholding that pagan high holy day. And it says further attempts at reconstruction often made to homework. Yeah, but you know, that's what I want to bring up. So it's basically, I'm just saying, like, you know, that's the left hand side's high holy day, and these guys, that's what they uphold. These guys uphold them left hand side high holy days, and that's what. You know, they got an article coming out, and it's funny because they'll sometimes highlight these things, like there might be a super moon, or they'll say, okay, yeah, you're going to see certain things in the night sky. Then certain events come to pass, man. So let me read this. Isaiah 47:12. Stand now with thine enchantments, and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast laboured from thy youth. If so be, thou shalt be able to profit. If so be, thou mayest prevail. Thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels. Well, let me just stop there. It says, stand now with thine enchantments with the multitude of thy sorceries. So these are the things that Esau's used basically to gain the power and to maintain it. He basically goes into that left-hand side. He does heathenish witchcraft practices. You know, he'll do sacrifices. He'll be upholding certain high holy days. You go into the Masonic temples and the basically Illuminati and how they get down. These guys basically, they'll be getting into all these kinds of practices. And it says yeah, if so be, thou shalt be able to profit. If so be, thou mayest prevail. Thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, the monthly prognosticators, stand up and save thee from these things that shall come. So Esau's basically looking to all these guys that he has basically looking into things on the left-hand side, and he's basically trying to get these guys to save him. But okay, is that gonna save him though? Is he gonna be able to achieve his plans? Let's see. It says, behold, they shall be as stubble, the fire shall burn them. They shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame. there shall not be a coal to warm at, nor fire to sit before. So all this that Esau's doing on the left-hand side, where he's trying to basically sustain himself or keep his kingdom going, all of that is just not even going to happen, man. The Lord's not going to allow he's not going to allow him to actually maintain or sustain his kingdom, man. He's all this effort and labor that he's putting into those wicked powers. It's not going to come to. It's not going to achieve the end that he wants, man. And that's a beautiful thing, man. Because that's basically the Lord's doing it so we can receive, we can receive our kingdom. And Esau's he's gonna be put into dirt captivity, man. He's gonna be getting roundhouse kicks, uppercuts, fucking. He's gonna get worked, man. Hey, so I'll leave it there. Just them high holy days. Esau's wicked high holy days. Always good to be aware around these times, and just keep track of what Esau you could be getting up to, man. I'll leave it there. I'll say all praise to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, double honor to the apostles and elders of GreatMillStone, man, and Shalom.